Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins you might still find in your change, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. That's right, a coin that most people overlook every single day could actually be worth nearly $90,000. Stay with me until the end of this video as we uncover how this simple copper-colored penny became a collector's dream and why you should check your coin jars right now, because you could be holding a fortune in your hands. Let's begin by talking about the origins of the 1994 Lincoln penny. This coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has stood the test of time for more than a century. The reverse side still displayed the Lincoln Memorial in 1994, a design introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. These coins were struck at multiple mints, but the most interesting ones are those that were struck without a mint mark. Normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver carry the letter D, and those from San Francisco carry an S. But here's where the story of the 1994 no-mint mark penny gets interesting. While most no-mint mark coins from Philadelphia are ordinary, a small number of coins from this year show striking anomalies, minting errors, or variations in composition that make them extremely rare and valuable. Some collectors have discovered that specific dies used in 1994 produced coins with sharper details, off-center strikes, or double die errors, and these rare features are what transform an ordinary penny into a high-value collectible. The 1994 no-mint mark penny is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. As the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper composition to copper-plated zinc in 1982. These coins weigh about 2.5 grams and have a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the surface, they look like every other modern Lincoln penny. But to the trained eye, a small imperfection, misalignment, or doubled image could mean a jackpot. Collectors have identified several types of errors that make this coin especially desirable. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where the lettering such as Liberty or the date 1994 appears slightly doubled. Another sought-after variety involves broad strike or off-center errors where the coin's design is not perfectly aligned with the rim. These are easy to spot even with the naked eye. In other cases, a penny might have missing letters, partial designs, or even a completely smooth reverse due to a die adjustment strike. These mistakes happen during the minting process when dies were misaligned, damaged, or struck with incorrect pressure. The result? Rare coins worth thousands. So how does a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent end up selling for nearly $90,000? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. In the world of numismatics, or coin collecting, rarity always drives up value. When only a handful of rare coins survive in pristine condition, collectors are willing to pay huge amounts to own one. In fact, one exceptional example of the 1994 no-mint mark penny was sold at auction for an astonishing $89,736. The coin was in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, graded by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. It displayed a clear double die strike and remarkable luster, making it a centerpiece for any serious Lincoln cent collection. Let's talk about the grading system for a moment. Coin grading is a crucial part of determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, mint-state coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1994 no-mint mark penny in poor circulated condition might only be worth its face value or a few cents, but the same coin in mint state, especially with a rare error, can jump into the thousands. And if it's a top-graded example with a unique error, that's where it reaches the incredible $89,736 mark. Collectors also pay close attention to the coin's surface quality, color, and strike. For example, red-colored pennies, known as RD in grading terms, are worth more than brown or red-brown coins. The reason is that red coins have retained their original copper shine without oxidation. Combine that beautiful color with a rare error, and you've got a potential treasure. Now let's explore some of the features you should look for if you come across a 1994 penny in your collection or pocket change. First, carefully inspect the obverse under a magnifying glass or microscope. Check for doubling in the lettering. "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1994. Even a slight doubling can indicate a valuable coin. Next, look at the reverse side for any missing or weakly struck design elements in the Lincoln Memorial, or the words, "United States of America." Off-center strikes are also a giveaway. If part of the coin's design is missing or pushed toward one edge, that's a potential mint error. And if the coin appears unusually thick, thin, or discolored, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, another highly collectible mint mistake. Let's take a quick look at how these coins perform at auction. In 2012, one pristine 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent graded MS-69 sold for over $2,500. Later, another specimen featuring a dramatic double-die obverse sold for more than $30,000. And most recently, a near-perfect example with exceptional eye appeal shattered expectations, selling for an unbelievable $89,736. These sales show that even modern pennies, if rare enough, can bring life-changing money to the right collector or seller. If you want to determine whether your penny might be valuable, you can start by comparing it to known varieties listed in coin reference guides such as the Red Book or on websites like PCGS and NGC. Look for die varieties, doubling, or planchet errors that match yours. You can also take your coin to a professional coin dealer or submit it for grading. Having a coin authenticated and encapsulated by a grading service not only confirms its legitimacy but also dramatically increases its market value when it comes time to sell. Now, you might be wondering how many of these valuable 1994 no-mint Mark pennies exist. The U.S. Mint produced over 6 billion Lincoln cents in 1994, which means millions are still out there. But only a tiny fraction have the unique characteristics that make them rare. Most have been circulated for years, showing scratches, wear, and discoloration, which lowers their value. But the few that remain in near-perfect condition, especially with visible minting errors, are the ones collectors chase, and that's why their prices skyrocket. Beyond the financial value, there's something historically fascinating about coins like this. Each penny is a small piece of American history, a moment frozen in time from the mid-1990s. It was a period of change in coin production methods, and small shifts in the minting process led to these unexpected variations. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting, the chance that a tiny imperfection from decades ago could turn into a modern treasure. For anyone just starting out in coin collecting, the 1994 penny is a perfect example of why you should always look closely at your change. You don't need to be a professional to spot something unusual. Sometimes it's about having patience, curiosity, and a bit of luck. Use a magnifying glass, good lighting, and take your time inspecting each coin. You never know which one might be worth a small fortune. Another great tip for collectors is to store coins properly. If you happen to find a 1994 no-mint Mark penny that looks shiny and uncirculated, don't clean it. Cleaning can damage the coin's surface and drastically reduce its value. Instead, place it in a protective holder or coin flip and keep it away from moisture and direct sunlight. The better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. As we approach the end of this deep dive, let's summarize the key reasons why the 1994 no-mint Mark penny is so valuable. First, its rarity and error varieties make it stand out. Second, its historical importance as part of the Lincoln cent series adds to its collectability. Third, its high auction record, nearly $90,000, has made it a hot topic in the numismatic community. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about this amazing coin, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with fellow collectors and friends who love discovering hidden gems in everyday change. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny, or if you're searching for one right now. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always check your change, because the next rare coin could be yours. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. to another exciting episode where we uncover the hidden fortune inside your loose change. Today's story is about a simple yet astonishing coin that could change your life: the 1947 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a small piece of copper that's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $53,846. Yes, you've heard that right, over $53,000 for just one penny. But what makes this particular coin so special? Why are collectors willing to pay such an incredible price for it? Stay tuned as we dive deep into its history, its secrets, and the key things you should look for in your own collection, because this penny might just be hiding in your old coin jar. Let's begin with a little history. The 1947 Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side features a portrait of President Lincoln, while the reverse displays two wheat ears, symbolizing prosperity and strength. During the year 1947, the United States Mint was still recovering from the effects of World War II. Metals were in high demand for military production, and the U.S. Mint had just switched back from using zinc-coated steel in 1943 to copper alloys in 1944. This period created a variety of minor variations and minting errors that make some of these coins extremely valuable today. Now, the 1947 penny was struck at 3 mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins produced in Denver have a small D mint mark below the date, and those from San Francisco carry an S. However, the 1947 penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and that's the one we're focusing on today. What makes this no mint mark coin particularly valuable is not just its age or origin, but the condition, rarity, and unique characteristics that set certain examples apart from ordinary ones. Let's talk about composition first. The 1947 Lincoln penny was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. But some rare versions were struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943 by mistake, and those are the coins that can reach the highest prices. Imagine a copper-colored penny mixed in with thousands of ordinary ones, but its metallic core is different. That's the kind of mistake that drives collectors wild. These minting errors are almost impossible to spot without close examination, but once authenticated, their value skyrockets. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 190 million pennies in 1947, so at first glance, it might seem like there's nothing special about it. But among those millions, only a few were struck perfectly or have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that were never used in circulation and have retained their original luster are the ones fetching thousands of dollars at auction. The record sale for a 1947 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in top mint state condition was an incredible $53,846, sold to a passionate collector who wanted the very best preserved example known to exist. So what makes a 1947 penny worth thousands versus one worth only a few cents? It comes down to 3 main factors: condition, rarity, and demand. Collectors use a grading scale that ranges from poor, P1, all the way up to mint state, MS70. The closer a coin is to a perfect mint state, the higher its value. Most 1947 pennies you'll find will be worn from circulation, scratched, discolored, or dull. But if you happen to find one that still has its original red copper shine, sharp details, and minimal marks, then you could be looking at something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's look closely at what to check for when examining your own 1947 penny. First, inspect the date. Make sure it clearly reads 1947 and has no mint mark under it. Then, look at Lincoln's cheek and jawline. On high-grade coins, you should see crisp details with minimal wear. The wheat ears on the reverse side should also be fully visible with clear lines and strong definition. Any fading or smoothing in these areas typically means the coin circulated for some time, lowering its value. However, even circulated coins can still be worth more if they contain unique errors or variations. Now, speaking of errors, this is where things get really exciting. The U.S. Mint occasionally produced coins with striking errors in 1947. Some of these include off-center strikes, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and even lamination errors. One of the most famous varieties for 1947 is the double die obverse, where parts of the date or lettering appear to be slightly doubled under magnification. This subtle doubling can make your coin worth hundreds or even thousands depending on condition. Another rare error to watch for is the die break, or cud, error, where extra metal appears on the rim of the coin due to a damaged die. Collectors prize these because they are unique to specific minting accidents, and no two are exactly alike. Let's pause for a moment and imagine you're sorting through an old jar of pennies, maybe coins your grandparents kept from years past. You find one that's dark brown, smooth, and worn. Then suddenly you notice another penny that gleams differently. It's dated 1947, and there's no mint mark. You hold it up to the light, grab a magnifying glass, and realize it has strong details and full wheat lines. That's when your heart starts to race. Could it be one of those rare, valuable examples worth over $50,000? You take it to a professional coin dealer or send it for grading at a reputable company like PCGS or NGC, and the result comes back, mint state 67 red. At that moment, you've just discovered a hidden fortune inside your old change. But before you rush to sell, it's important to understand the grading and authentication process. Grading agencies like PCGS, NGC, and ANAX examine coins under magnification, checking for originality, luster, strike quality, and any signs of cleaning or alteration. Cleaning a coin, even lightly, can drastically reduce its value, so always leave coins in their natural condition. Once graded, your coin will be encapsulated in a protective holder with its grade and certification number. This not only ensures authenticity but also makes it easier to sell at auctions or to collectors worldwide. Now let's talk about market trends. Over the past decade, the value of rare Lincoln pennies has skyrocketed. As more collectors enter the hobby and competition grows for top-grade examples, prices have continued to rise. The 1947 no-mint mark penny in MS-65 red condition, for example, used to sell for around a few $100s in the early 2000s. Today, those same coins can sell for several thousand. The MS-67 red example that sold for $53,846 represents the finest known condition for that issue, and it shows how powerful condition and rarity are when it comes to coin values. If you want to increase your chances of finding valuable 1947 pennies, here's what you can do. Start by searching through old jars, coin rolls from banks, or inherited collections. Many people don't realize that some of their old coins could be worth small fortunes. Always handle coins carefully by the edges, and avoid touching the surfaces directly. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect details. If you find one that looks promising, compare it to online references or auction listings to get an idea of its potential worth. Collectors are also drawn to the historical aspect of the 1947 penny. It represents post-war America, a time of change, rebuilding, and growth. Every penny minted that year tells part of that story. The copper in these coins might have come from recycled wartime materials, adding even more depth to their historical significance. That's part of what makes owning one so special. It's not just a coin, it's a tangible piece of American history that survived over 7 decades. Some advanced collectors also look for toning, natural color changes that develop on copper coins over time. Brilliant red coins are the most desirable, but some collectors love beautifully toned pieces with shades of gold, violet, or blue. These natural patterns can increase a coin's visual appeal and sometimes its value. However, artificial toning or chemical cleaning can easily ruin that potential, so again, preservation is key. As for auctions, several high-grade 1947 pennies have appeared in major sales over the years. At heritage auctions and Stack's Bowers, collectors have battled for ownership of these pristine examples, pushing prices higher each time. The $53,846 record came from such a bidding war, proving that when rarity meets perfection, the results can be astounding. Even mid-grade coins can sell for respectable amounts, especially those with errors or unique varieties. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, every discovery could be worth more than you think.